Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly. In a personal story segment tonight, consenting high school students in Milton, Massachusetts, near Boston. 15-year-old girl, sophomore at Milton Academy High School, apparently had sex on school grounds with a number of boys. Two of them, ages 17 and 18, could be charged with statutory rape, the others with juvenile offenses. Joining us now from Boston are attorneys Wendy Murphy, the director of the Victim Advocacy Group, and Geoffrey Nathan, who has defended a number of people charged with sexual crimes. Mr. Nathan, we begin with you. How do you see this case? You think the 17 and 18-year-old boys should be charged as adults here?
Absolutely not. This is a matter that is between, in my opinion, the family of the complaining witness and the family of the students at the academy. This is not something that belongs in a criminal court, and to drag these two through the criminal system is just an abuse of power by the law enforcement authorities.
All right,
and if the district attorney prosecutes, I think it's a waste of prosecutorial resources.
In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, though, it is illegal for an 18-year-old who's considered an adult to have sex with a minor, is it not?
Well, that's on the books.
I mean, but isn't that what we're talking about, the law?
Well, we have an evolution in society where promiscuity is all over the internet. You can't avoid it. And so what law enforcement should be doing is saying, look, we're going to look at the what happened here, the ages of the complaining witness, the ages of the defendants. They're not that far apart. And so what we're going to do is we're going to require
all right, but wait a minute now. I mean, are you telling me if I'm the girl's father and I want criminal charges because the law is on the books, you're going to tell me I shouldn't because of an evolution in society? Come on, counselor.
Well, I'm going to say that this is just part of a permissive society that we have.
You're going to lose on that all day long, I think. Wendy, how do you see it?
Oh man, you know, look, the fact that children are routinely being abused, raped, and even in some instances, I suppose, engaging in outlandish sexual activity is hardly a reason to decriminalize it. You know, if we all started killing and stealing from each other, should we take murder and robbery off the books too? I mean, it's an argument in favor of more harsh prosecution, not less. I don't get Geoffrey's argument at all. And let's be clear about what we're talking about. This is a girl, age 15, which makes her a child. We can call it euphemistically statutory rape or bad behavior all day long. The bottom line is it's called rape of a child. And there were 5 boys against 1 girl. 5 boys who knew the age of consent and did it anyway.
Yeah, but they didn't force the girl, and let's be clear about this. The girl, on a number of occasions, went to the boys in the locker room, this is all alleged now, in a hotel room, and the girl, yes, under the law, she is a child, Wendy, but I would charge the girl with disorderly conduct, as a minor. So I don't think the girl is blameless here from what I see in this case. Do you think she's blameless?
Well, look, it's not a question of moral blame, and if you want to discuss whether she should have done something differently, that's fine in a moral venue. As a matter of law, I don't care if she laid down naked and said, all of you have at me. It doesn't matter. It gives them permission to do nothing. It doesn't matter that she's close to the age of consent. She's a child, no different than if she's 10
so
or 6.
So you consider her a victim, and no sanctions should be leveled against her at all, even though she participated in this, went to where these things were going to occur.
No, let's not overstate the facts in terms of her role in all of this. She did have a boyfriend in this crowd. She did go to meet him. He brought his pals along and said, do them all a favor. I see her as a victim and then some, a victim of a trust relationship. She was dating a guy who brought his buddies along from the hockey team and said, let's do her.
She's 15. She's not forced to do it. They suggest she does. She goes along with it willingly. I mean, everybody says that she did. And I don't know. I'm not getting the victim here. All right, now let me get back to you.
That's not true. That's not true that she was not forced and coerced. That's the boy's story, Bill. That's not her story.
Okay, but if you wind up in a boy's locker room in a hotel room, what do they drag her there? Do they tie her up? I think the evidence is weak on that one.
Boyfriend. He brought his pals.
Now, Mr. Nathan, if you look. I'm putting myself, and you should put yourself in. We're fathers, okay? And we have a troubled girl, 15 years old, promiscuous, whatever you want to call her. She's troubled. And she comes into contact with 18, 17-year-old guys, and she does what they want, all right? You're telling me society has no obligation to hold those people accountable, including her? No obligation?
Well, I think you can hold them accountable, but you don't have to punish them for life by branding them as felons and then having them register as sex offenders, and that carries with them a stigma for the rest of their life. My point being that this is behavior which we see in our society all the time, and consequently, this almost could be deemed to be role-playing, Bill. And you don't take some adolescents who are at a very prestigious
So what would you do? How would you punish them?
In the system,
I mean, that's the Boston Globe's take.
Okay.
Well, how would you punish them?
I would say that they should pay a fine directly to the family of the complaining witness, and they should then take some sex education awareness classes on campus and issue a public apology.
Well, I think they should be expelled
and leave
from
it
campus.
at that.
I'd expel all of them. Girl be
well,
expelled.
they've already been. That's a fatal
you having sex in the locker room at Milton Academy?
They've already been kicked out.
Yeah, you're out. You're gone. So
done.
you would fine them and then take sex. I think, with all due respect, Counselor, they are aware of sex. I don't know if a sex awareness class is what they need.
Well, what I'm
but
talking
anyway,
about
I'm going to give
appropriate sex.
All right. I'm going to give Wendy the final word here.
Yeah, I think what they need is a big, hard lesson in respect for other people's bodies. These boys knew the age of consent. They knew she was 15. They knew it was 5-on-1. They knew they had been invited there in this coercive, forceful environment.
What do you do? What do you do to the girl, Wendy? Anything?
No, you don't punish her. You do something to help her deal with whatever promiscuity problems she has. Maybe she's from a troubled family. Maybe she's got issues going on in her life that made her super vulnerable. You
Wendy,
have
one
to
more
prosecute
question.
them.
Do you give these kids a felony rap sheet?
2 of them have already been charged as juveniles. You absolutely must charge the other boys. And look, if they have to be labeled sex offenders, so be it, because they knew her age. They did it anyway.
Okay.
They deserve what the law's punishment
All right,
tells
very
us
interesting discussion. Thank you both.
They're sex offenders.
Thank you both. Very interesting.
Welcome.
Coming next.